So we'll start. So I have checked your last class doubt. So your question was, is it the same way a zygote is passing out of the um, egg, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So the question itself, so what will happen? The zona pellucida, when the sperm will get entered, the acrosome will digest the zona pellucida. So that's how it can penetrate the zona pellucida, and then it will enter the inside the cytoplasm. When the it will reach the plasma membrane, both the sperm plasma membrane and egg plasma membrane will fuse together. So then what will happen? Inside the egg, there is a cortical granule. So whenever this happens, cortical granule will get fused to the plasma membrane and it will digest again some more enzyme, which will go and digest the complete zona pellucida. Okay. So then it is becoming a total structure. So now the question framing itself, there is no entry opening. The way it get entered is totally digested. All zona pellucida will get digest and it as a total zygote will move towards the fallopian tube. Did you get the point?
Yes, ma'am. But until the implantation, the sona pellucida has to remain as such, right? Because the blastocyst will not increase in size; it will increase only in number. So only outer membrane has the sona pellucida.
No, outer membrane is there is plasma membrane, right? So plasma membrane outside is the zona pellucida. Zona pellucida is just for the its function is maintain that. So what with the cortical granule is maintaining that polyspermic condition. So whenever there is more than one sperm is coming into the zona pellucida, this cortical granule will go and bind and digest the total zona pellucida and will go. So there is the plasma membrane is there, so it can implant, right? So I read about it and I got this answer. I don't know to. So in that, the cortical granule will start digesting the total zona pellucida. Otherwise, what will happen? More sperm will come and it can get entered into the egg and like polyspermy condition will result. Multiple zygotes can develop, right? Hello?
That's true, ma'am. But
Yeah.
that is because of a chemical reaction, right?
No, so yeah, everything is a chemical reaction. It is basically enzymatic reaction. So this is how I got the answer. So the way it enters from the zona pellucida, that everything after just digestion, it will start digesting. Otherwise, if that hole is open, multiple other sperms can enter and the polyspermy can occur. So that's why the cortical granule, after just the first sperm enters, it will fuse with the plasma membrane and it will start digesting the other zona pellucida.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, I will share the screen. It's visible, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
No. So we have started the course with like telling the definition. After studying the course, we can know more about our body. So I hope you guys will understand like more things about your own body. Then we have seen how our body performs basic function, how is our body made up of, and what are the organizational hierarchy. Then how its regular function is disrupted, what is a normal homeostasis, and how it is happening in altered homeostasis. And whenever the body function is disrupted, body have its own mechanism to restore it. Then also about how the body adjusts itself under extreme physiological situation and how it's recalibrated function. So we have seen the multiple aspects using different systems and we have seen different altered homeostasis status and how body is trying to cope up with all these things. So this was the overview of the course. First week was totally regarding the introductory session. So there we have seen the anatomy, physiology, and organizational hierarchy. Then about the homeostasis, positive feedback loop mechanism, negative feedback loop mechanism. Then the chemical base of organization. In the second week, it was mainly regarding integumentary system, which mainly consists of skin, hair, and nail, and it's some adaptive features like why the different hair color varies, and there were some interesting aspect of it. Then followed by skeletal system. So basically, that 2 week was just the introduction to skeletal system. Then in the week three, it was mainly regarding the muscle, especially introduction. Then followed by skeletal, how skeletal muscle is formed, then the about the anatomy of skeletal muscle, then the how contraction is happening about the sarcomere unit, then the actin myosin thing, everything. Then what is the function of this actin and myosin, what are the components they are made up of, how they are functioning inside our body. Then followed by we started with the axis like skeletal muscle neural axis and its basic structure of neuron. Then how neuron is performing this function. Then stretch reflex phenomena. Then nervous system anatomy and signaling. Then the structure and circuit of neuron. Then the week five, it was again the continuation with the neural system where it was excitability mainly, how excitability is maintained, and about the ion transportation, especially sodium, potassium channels, action potential, all these things we got to know. Then the signal propagation, neurotransmitter and action potential, everything. In the week six, it was again the continuation of neural system where we have seen the hippocampus, epilepsy, and long-term potentiation, all these things, special temporal summation, all these things. Week 7, it was again continuation of neural system. It was the N class of neural system where we have seen multiple disorders associated with neural system, starting from Alzheimer's, Parkinson, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, spinal cord injury, all of these things. Then in the week 8, it was again connection with the neural system to special systems such as hearing, olfaction. Then in the next class, it was mainly regarding the eye vision, how eyes can detect rod cells and cone cells function, and how it's able to detect the signal, all these things. Followed by in week 10, we have seen cardiovascular system. In cardiovascular system, we have seen its structure and function of heart, then conduction circuit, about EKG, everything. Then followed by respiratory system and blood. So respiratory physiology, then anatomy and physiology of blood vessel, especially what is the function of arteries, veins, and how is the structural difference, how they are able to carry more blood, all these things. And in the final week, it was mainly regarding five main system, which was endocrine, digestive, blood, then kidney, and the reproductive system. Each lecture was regarding each separate system. So this was the overview of the course. We have discussed each week summary in respective session followed by the question discussion. So today what we are going to do, since the 12th week assignment solution is not released, I cannot share the answer because it's against the policy. So today we will discuss all the session that we have went through. We'll discuss some more questions from all these questions so that it will be helpful for your exam. And whenever you have some doubt, you can stop me in between and start discussing the answers. Okay, so I will read the question. You can type in the chat box, then we'll see the answers. Okay, first question. In anatomical terms, the dash plane is a vertical plane that divides body into left and right portion. Option A, transverse, sagittal, frontal, or coronal. So you can type your answers in the chat box. Kushbu, can you please share your answer? Okay, correct answer is sagittal only. Uh, we have learned this in the first week during the introductory session. So if you have any doubt, go back and refer to that week slides. You will get to know. Okay. So correct answer is sagittal. And do you remember what is the another name of sagittal plane? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. So next question. We'll follow to the next question. Uh, yeah. Which of this muscle type is non-striated? Yeah. Correct answer. It is smooth muscle. The other two are striated. Dendrites and axon are part of which of the following cell type? Neuron, nephron, mast cells, or glia cells? Yeah, correct. So you guys are already ready for writing exam, I guess. Then in integumentary system, which of this is a not part of the cutaneous membrane? So think about what is cutaneous membrane, what are its layers? Pushpu. Okay. So correct answer is nails. Why? Because cutaneous membrane is another name for skin only, right? So skin have these epidermis, hypodermis, and between dermis and hypodermis we can see the papillary layer also. So the correct answer is nails. Yeah. Variation in hair color is because why different people have different hair color. Yeah, correct answer is C only. Because as the amount of melanin variate, we will have different colors in the hair. So answer is yeah. So when eumelanin is there, it will hair will be black or brown, and if pheomelanin is more, it will give a purple red color. Keloid is a dash. Bone tissue, hair tissue, lung tissue, or scar tissue. Keloid. This we have never discussed, but yeah, it's from one of the question from disorders associated with the first part, endocumentary system. Yeah. Ooh, okay. So keloid is a scar tissue. It's basically the hardening of like our tissue. It's like a scar it will form. It's a basic disorder associated with the skin. So correct is scar. So how it is happening? It's due to the overgrowth of a granulation tissue or collagen fibers. Then so at the site of healed skin injury, which is then slowly replaced by collagen type 1. So usually keloids, whenever some injury happens, we can see, right, there is some kind of scars. So that is basically known as keloid. Next question. C cells of thyroid gland secrete. This is from the last lecture. Endocrinal. Yeah. Yeah, so the C cells actually thyroid gland secrete both thyroxine and calcitonin. But the C cells, since the name itself indicate, right? So C cells secrete calcitonin. And also it can synthesize other hormones also in a very less amount, like CGPR, somatostatin, and serotonin. White matter is the region dominated by myelinated axon, unmyelinated axon, skeletal muscle, nephron. Are you sure? Both are saying we. I am getting confused actually. Okay, it's myelinated only. I actually have answer was myelinated. So why confusion? Since if it's absent, right, the gray matter is due to usually unmyelinated. So correct answer is A. So don't get confused, okay? Next question. Dash is a ring-like structure containing melanocytes and is part of the eye. Ciliary muscle, retina, iris, cornea. Yeah, that is correct answer. Iris is ring-like structure. And also it contains melanocyte. That's why different people have different color inside the eye, right? The purple. Some people have uh, like brown colored eyes, some have blue colored eyes. So like that. Plasma membrane is a dash. Yeah. Plasma membrane is a phospholipid bilayer. Erythropoietin is majorly synthesized in. This is also from the last class. We have discussed all these questions. So, yeah. Kidney is the correct answer. It's a protein hormone synthesized by the peritubular cell of kidney. Progesterone level reach its maximum, dash and estrogen level reach its maximum. This also we discussed in the last lecture only. Okay, let's see. See, because progesterone is the pregnancy hormone, it needs after the ovulation to maintain the pregnancy, but estrogen needs to be reach its peak for the release of egg, which is before ovulation. At any given point, arteries hold dash veins. Less blood than, same amount, more blood than, none of the above. Okay. So what was we saying? Depending on the arteries can hold always less blood than the veins. Because we told, right, depending on the area, maybe it's opposite, but amount of volume carrying capacity always veins can carry more blood than arteries, or arteries can hold less blood than veins. Which of the following is a not a layer or component of an artery? Not a layer. Yeah, because initia, no, intima is a layer, but initia is not a layer. All others are layer. Blood clotting is an example of dash feedback. Blood clotting. Did you type the answer? So blood clotting is an example of positive, negative, or both. Blood clotting is an example of positive, right? Why? Because after getting the clot, it will stimulate in the same direction. It will again accelerate more clotting factors to come and accumulate. So blood clotting is an example of positive feedback loop. What are the other example of positive feedback loop? Oxytocin during the yes. Then one more, fruit ripening. All these are positive feedback. So next question is regulating blood glucose level is a dash feedback. Regulation of blood glucose level by insulin or any hormone is dash. Positive, negative, or both. Yeah, negative. So in our body, most of the hormone related things are in working in a negative feedback loop. Dash begins slightly before ventricular systole. P wave, QRS wave, R wave, or T wave. Let's see. So correct answer is QRS only. So each wave depicts what? The end of the P wave depolarization is the start point of arterial stage of systole or arterial systole. QRS is occurred slightly before ventricular systole because it's usually occur at the R peak of the QRS wave. Then T wave finally indicate the end of the ventricular contraction. Then after that, normal relaxation or ventricular diastole will happen. Cataract is caused by the cloudiness of, yeah, Cataract is caused by the cloudiness of lens. Correct. In the dark, the photoreceptor is depolarized due to an influx of dash through open ion channels that are gated by the dash. Vision, neural system and special sensor class. Which are the ions and gated by which transporter? Sodium and potassium, calcium. Okay. Sodium and calcium, CGM. Correct answer is A because ions are sodium and calcium and the gatekeeper is CGMP. Right? So whenever the photoreceptor is depolarized, what happens? Sodium and calcium will influx into the through the open ion channels, which are actually gated by the CGMB. Next question. The reflex arc involving the presence of one or more indoor neuron is called mediated by one or more. So what is the name? Monosynaptic, bisynaptic, polysynaptic, or reflex? Hyperinin, you can, if you know the answer, you can guess the answer also. Please type in the chat box. Yeah. So the correct answer is C only, polysynaptic reflex. So what is the meaning? It is the addition to sensory and motor neuron. There is an additional neuron which is known as interneuron in between these two, which pass the signal between the sensory and motor neuron. That's the name also interneuron. So finally it will create multiple synaptic connections. So C is the correct answer. An excessive increase in the release of acetylcholine receptors at the neuron muscular junction would cause option A, overstimulation of muscle or tetanic response. Option B, no muscle stimulation and movement at all may lead to paralysis. Normal muscle activity, no change is caused. Both A and B. Good evening. So what is the answer for this? Sarini, you can also type in the chat box, then we'll discuss the answer. Anything you can guess also. If you don't know, it's fine. So can I go to the answer? Answer is overstimulation, right? Because acetylcholine, whenever acetylcholine released from the cholinergic neuron, what will happen? It will trigger, right? So what will happen? Overstimulation of muscle or netanic response will happen. So that change the direction of the stimulus CSA. Positive feedback, any homeostatic process that change the direction of the stimulus. Positive feedback, negative feedback, equivalent loop, or distributive loop? Simple question from the first class. Yeah. Opposite direction, right? So correct answer is negative feedback. Dash are the structures made up of calcium carbonate in air that sense gravity, tilt, and acceleration. Hair cells, tails, bone, otoliths. We have discussed it when we were discussing the neural system and the hearing system. Neural system and special senses class. Yeah, otolith is the correct answer. Otolith is present in inner ear, especially in the vestibular system, right? So in the otolith, we can see again two structures, saccule and utricle. So basically what they do, they helps in perceiving the linear acceleration. Then even in like extinct vertebrate also we can see these type of structures. In Alzheimer's disease, what happens to neuron? Cell bodies become larger, cell body starts to die off, process becomes demyelinated but alive when cells body die off, process starts to die off. What is the correct answer? Okay, correct answer is B, because as the deposition of these two protein, which are tau and amyloid beta happens, first the processes starts to die off. And remember what part of the neuron is affected by Alzheimer's disease also. It is affecting memory. So memory center of the brain is hippocampus, and how the people found out the experiment associated with it. Interestingly, the epilepsy disorder, all the stories that we have told, okay, I'm not going to discuss. So appendage that connect bone to bone are called. Yeah, ligament, right? If muscle to bone, then what? Yeah, tendon. So always remember bone to bone ligament. Next question. Neuronal processes in what part starts to die off in Parkinson's disease? Amygdala, substantial nigra, hippocampus, freeboard finger complex. Parkinson disease, which is the motor activity disorder. So what is the brain part that coordinate motor activity? Yeah. So correct answer is substantial nigra. Jumping of nerve impulses from one node of Ranvier to another is called orthodomic conduction, antidomic conduction, saltatory conduction, or action potential. Yeah. Correct answer is C. What is orthodomic and antidomic? So if it's along the conduction through the nerve impulse, uh, like in the same direction, then it's Like the normal traveling direction, it's orthodomic. And if it's antidomic, it means it's action potential from the peripheral towards the cell body, opposite, normal to opposite. The signal travels within the neuron dash and between the neuron at synapse dash. How is the transmission at the neuron, within the neuron, and between the neuron? Within the neuron, yeah, within the neuron electrically and between the neuron chemically, because synapse, eh, there are something called neurotransmitters, right? So neurotransmitter transmission is a chemical transmission, but normal saltatory conduction is a electrical transmission. So B. So it synapse refers to the point of contact between neuron. You know already. Then it conveys information both electrically and chemically. So within the neuron, information is passed along through the movement of an electrical charge. Therefore, it is known as electrical transmission. But a neuron sending a signal releases a chemical called a neurotransmitter, which binds to the receptor on the surface of receiving neuron. Hence, the chemical signals between neuron at synapse. Between the neuron is chemical, within the neuron is electrical. Which of the following cell types form the population of the dorsal pathway of the spinal cord? Dorsal pathway, motor neuron, inter or sensory, or all the above? Okay, confusion, confusion. Okay, I will show you the image. Look, afferent pathway or sensory pathway. So, question was, uh, so afferent pathway, there is sensory neuron, and in efferent pathway, there is motor neuron. So, question was from the population of the dorsal pathway of the spinal cord, right? So, what is the answer? Dorsal pathway is sensory neuron, because efferent pathway or ventral pathway is by motor neuron. So keep in mind all the names for the different pathway for neuronal transmission. Okay. Next question. AMBA is a dash. Sure. GABAergic. Okay, interesting. AMBA is a glutamate. Keep this image in mind. It's basically AMBA, right? Inotropic GLUR, which means it's a glutamate receptor. Even in the glutamate receptor, there is two classifications. So AMBA is basically ionotropic glutamate receptor. So correct answer is A, glutamate. Next question. Which motor neuron innervate extrafusal fibers? Alpha, gamma, or both, or none? B. Huh? You remember the image again? I will show you one more image. Keep that in mind so that it's easy for remembering. Here you can see, right? Alpha towards the extra and gamma towards the intra. So alpha is always to the extrafusal fibers is always innervated by alpha Mn. Option A is the correct answer. Hmm. So that is about the question. We have discussed almost from all the lectures, some questions. I hope this was helpful. You guys can recollect the old lectures that we have been um, taken in the very long ago, also starting from the first till the 12th week. Yeah, please ask. You can ask the doctor. If Arya and Kushbu, do you have also, if any doubt, please feel free to ask. Then all the best for your exam. Go study well. I know you guys already know everything. Just revise it back. Make like always keep in mind the confusing questions like different names for same biological term. So these confusing questions, please keep in mind. It's better to keep some clues which you can remember the names easily. Then study like that. Okay, regarding the mock exam, they will tell you how the pattern of the exam will be. So preparation will be always go and refer since it consists of since I think already notification came, right. Exam consists of both subjective and can be objective also. So it will be a like mixed thing. So prepare for everything. Like go through each session thoroughly. So if you are well prepared for the mock exam, it will be good for the final also. Uh, and I don't know where is your exam center, so they will notify that also, I think, in the hall ticket. Yeah. So go through each session very well and study and go and write exam. Assignment questions, resolving assignment questions will definitely help you. Since today itself you guys know, like you guys can easily answer the question very fastly, right? Because you are there is things inside your mind which you need to just brush up. So go and brush up, you will be okay to write exam. Don't worry, all the best. It was a very like new experience for me also, but I am so happy to interact with you guys, and like it was nice sessions. Thank you for joining the class and all the best wishes. Bye. See you sometime again somewhere. Thank you so much. You guys are also really every day you guys have joined, and it was very good to interact with you, even the doubt session. I have also got the opportunity to go back and check some interesting questions asked by you. So it was really a nice experience. I will write my mail ID here so you can contact me if you guys have any queries. Okay. This mail ID and the mail ID I am joining in the Google Meet. So this is one, and my institute ID is this one. Okay. Yeah. Okay, all these questions we have the in NPTEL portal. You can see the one more extra session where you can interact with the assignment solution. So there in that portal there's a link. If you are going into that link, you can get to see all the three. So we are three people who will usually tries to help you with assignment solution. So you can get the access for all the three people and the recorded sessions as well as the Google Slides. Okay. Yeah. So bye bye. Happy exam. All the best. Bye. Bye bye. Bye Kushbu. Bye Arya. Bye Tarini.